It's time for Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting, and it's sponsored by Vidalia Federal in Lyons and Vidalia, Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton. Now let's see what's happening in our community with host Tony Doc Wardlaw.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, Tony Wardlaw, the Doc, and we are here on another, yes, you knew what I was going to say, beautiful morning. Every morning that God allows us to wake up is a beautiful morning, Dave, ain't that right?
Amen.
Well, we are happy to have you with us this morning for, yes, another special edition of Community Matters. Seems like every week you never know what we're going to get, never know what God is going to send our way. We have someone in the studio this morning. We tried to have them a while back, but things came up. But as God would have it, she's right on time this morning. It is the one and the only, the illustrious, the beautiful Miss Christy Foskey.
Thank you.
Welcome to Community Matters.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And, Miss Foskey, we here at Community Matters, we try to find hidden gems within our community, things that, heroes within our community that a lot of people may not know about. And I heard about your program a few months ago. And in fact, I met you over a year or so ago, and we talked about some things that you were looking to do. Did not know that, in fact, you weren't playing around. You hit the ground running, and you have been able to do some big things. So we want to hear this morning about this beautiful program that is now in our community. So tell us a little bit about it.
All right. Well, the name of the program is A Place to Heal Women's Recovery Residents.
Mm-hmm.
We are located in Vidalia, across from Food World, but the address is 403 West 1st Street. God just kind of put this in my heart a year and a half or so ago. Well, a few years ago. I'm from, first of all, let me back up a minute. My name is Christy Foskey, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. Okay, so what that means to me is that now I can live a life of freedom. I can live in my purpose and all of that. So, and so one of the things that I'm able to do now is to help other women.
Wow.
All right, so that's why, that was the whole root of opening up, is to help other women. So we do have an 18-bed facility.
Oh, wow.
We started off with 6 beds.
Okay.
In a double-wide trailer, and we've grown. God has blessed us, and but we are able to help women through their through their long-term recovery, from early recovery to, they call early recovery anywhere from up to a year, I think. So,
Okay.
So our time is from 9 months until 24 months.
Okay.
And some people need that 24 months, to learn how to live life new again.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, then you yourself has had history with substance abuse.
That's correct.
And you have been able to overcome. And after having overcome, God placed it in your heart to say, you know what, maybe I can help other people now.
That's right.
And so you had this vision for having your own facility. And as of last year, what day, February of 2022, you officially opened up a place to heal women's recovery residents.
That's right.
And you opened it up with 6 beds, but now you have 18.
That's correct.
Okay, this story keeps getting better and better. Wow. Okay, so how did you go from 6 beds to 18?
Well, the need, but just I can't tell you. I would like to say, well, this is the strategic plan that I used right here. We did this, but I can't tell you that. I can just tell you that there was a need, and as the need grew, the accommodations grew as
Wow.
well. Okay,
Wow.
so we needed more space, and I rented already the little corner on 401 West First Street, Vidalia. So I
Okay.
have both of those little houses right there. But I was already renting that space, and the landlord, who was he has passed now, Frank Smith. He called me and said that his place was coming available next door, and this all happened at the same time. You know, that we were getting all these phone calls and having people on waiting list and all
Oh,
that.
wow.
So it was a big step, and very I was afraid, you know, but I did it and just asked God to guide me, you know.
Wow.
And that's basically how we're there.
So wow, you were originally in a double wide trailer. Was that located within Toombs County?
It was on my grandmother's property.
Wow. Okay. And then you were blessed to be able to move, I guess, within the city limits. And now you're renting a facility in Vidalia,
That's correct.
and it affords you the ability to have 18 beds.
That's correct.
Now, are all of these beds filled?
All but two today, but they are spoken for. Let's say that.
So basically,
Might as
they
well
are.
say, yeah.
Wow.
And I will go a little bit further into how it works. We, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. We start the ladies off with a lot of education. So in the beginning, we want them to learn about the disease of addiction, or look, we do have some ladies there with other mental health disorders as well. So
Co-occurring disorders.
So most of them are that way. So so we make sure that medication is taken at the appropriate times, and you know, different things like that. We have been able to take quite a few women from homelessness to having their own place.
Wow.
Now, you know, we've got some now who were in the paper, or you know, every week for disturbing this peace, or trespassing, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they were homeless.
Wow.
They couldn't afford their medication. You know, just didn't have that structure that they needed to be able to, you know, help them. So we have a couple of ladies there right now that we are just keeping there in a long-term situation.
Yeah.
You know, just to make sure that they're, so it's a benefit to the community, and we want to always try to do that as well.
Well, you know, it's been my experience that with a program like this, in order for you to be successful, you would have to be highly supported by the community in which you are placed. So how actively involved are you, or how much support are you getting from the community?
Different areas, we do get a good bit of support. We have people calling and asking, you know, if there's anything that they can do. So we do get a good bit of support. We have to be careful because of people's, you know, confidentiality and all that kind of stuff. But as far as, you know, a lot of times we're looking for people to sponsor the ladies when they come in.
Okay.
Because a lot of, you know, most everybody who comes with nothing. Well, obviously it
Wow.
costs, you know, to keep things going. And God has been able to, you know, provide that, and we've made it. But we are looking into some other funding options to be able to help other women in our community have a longer term option, especially if they have co-occurring disorders and are homeless.
Right. Wow. So what is the cost of a sponsorship? If someone wanted to sponsor one of the ladies in your program, what would that cost?
It would be the monthly rate for one person is $900. All right. The person who does my finances said, "Did you know that it costs you $750 a month to house somebody?"
Wow.
And I said, well, somehow we make it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've got to be able to. We have to be able to allow them to, when it's time for them to go. You know, when they're ready to leave the nest, so to speak, that they are not set up for failure, but set up for success. You know, so to have some money saved up, to have a support system already in place, you know, all of those sort of things.
Wow. So that's roughly $30 a day it takes for you to house one of these ladies. And so with them staying there with you, I mean, tell us a little bit more about the program. I understand that you give education. Do you have counseling available? I take it that you have to provide their meals, or do they get jobs? How does it work?
They do get jobs after the first 30 days. They get a job. And
So the first 30 days, they are just
They are
strictly
basi-
within the program, going through your program initiatives and steps.
Yes, becoming acclimated, getting that base education down, you know, for the disease of addiction or whatever it is they may be, you know, working through. And we have a curriculum. You know, they have to go through the first a certain portion of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. They have to go through a certain portion of the basic text of Narcotics Anonymous. We use the Life Recovery Bible. I teach Matrix for the women's supplement. And we teach codependency. That's usually a huge issue with women.
Okay.
And they are required to journal every night and to do an agenda for their next day. So no matter what it is, if it's get up, brush my teeth, make my bed, take my shower, blah, 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 blah.
But you've got to be intentional about what you're going to do the next day.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when you intentionally check those things off, you know, it gives you the sense of
Completion.
Yeah.
You did
Get a
something.
boost. Yeah.
It increases your morale and it motivates you to live another day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did you come up with these curriculums on your own? I know Matrix and other programs like that or different assessments that already exist, but did you design the flow of the curriculums?
With my mother's help, yes.
Okay.
My mother is a retired therapist, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that leads me to my next question for you.
Okay.
You know, I know you're not doing this all alone. So how big is your staff?
Okay, so I have someone who lives there, who also is employed there. Her name is Whitney. She's the full-time. She's the staff besides me.
Okay.
We do have different volunteers who come in and help. You know, help us do different things, errand running, shopping, whatever. But she's just awesome. I mean,
Wow.
she just she's also a nurse, so she has that caretaking, you know, already built into her, and she's really, really, really good. She fits it.
Wow. Wow. Now, do your volunteers have to be women?
Not necessarily. You know, if there was someone who needed to come in and teach a financial literacy class or something like that, and it's the man or a man from the bank. That's fine, something like that. But,
Okay.
yeah, probably it would be safer, more safe.
Was that you used that analogy about a man from a bank? I mean, is that one of your curriculums that you provide, or
It's
was
one
it,
I'm looking at.
was
I
that?
want to
I
do
thought that was your way of shamelessly plugging. Look, I need someone from a bank to come in and teach my ladies. That's how you do it. That's how you take advantage of an interview on Community Matters.
Well, that is what I need. Or a woman. And
Right.
I know that there are some smart women bankers out there, too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've got a few that we should, we want to help you with this, and we'll call a few and see if we can't make that happen
All right.
expeditiously.
Yeah, it's when you're not used to having money, when even me now being in recovery for so many years, I forget just exactly what it was like sometimes being there, and when you're there, people want to say, get up, just pull your boot. My daddy used to love to say, pull your bootstraps up and go on, I think is what it was, something like that. And a lot of people can do that, but some people can't do that. And so we just want to make sure that we're there providing services that and providing them tools that they'll be able to use when they leave us. We just want it to be in-ground in them.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here on this morning, and we're talking with Miss Christy Foskey. She is the executive director for a Place to Heal Women's Recovery Residence. It's located right here in our own city. What a wonderful program. She has already talked about some of the things that she needs, and we're going to do what we can to try to help her get those things. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about your volunteer pool and just ask you a few more questions about the program and how people can get involved. Please stay with us and come back right after these messages.
Smarter, not harder. Here at Vidalia Federal, we are all about that phrase as we strive to make your life easier. No more drowning in paperwork or being interrogated over the idea of buying a house. Getting a home loan should be an enjoyable, simple process, not a daunting task. This is Julia McKenzie with Vidalia Federal Savings Bank, and I am here to make the mortgage process easy and simple. Come see me at the Vidalia branch on Jackson Street to talk about your next home purchase or refinance. I look forward to serving you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas. This is Anthony J. with Todd Paget Housing Center. And no, I'm not Santa, but we sure are slaying the competition over here in Claxton, Georgia. We build our manufactured homes more energy efficient, better built, and have the best setup than anyone else. Whether you've been naughty or nice, come by and we'll be glad to show you the Todd Paget Housing Center difference. Jingle us at 912-732-1466 or stop your sleigh at 5260 Highway 280 West in Claxton, Georgia. Todd Paget Housing Center. All of your housing solutions under one roof.
Dorothy Davis with Southeastern Business Solutions here, specializing in website services, graphics management, and video editing. We have partnered with TCB Broadcasting to bring your sponsorship ads to life with their live on-air programs, which are recorded and archived along with your sponsorship ads as they were aired at the time of production. These programs are viewable by anyone at any time from anywhere on major social outlets like YouTube or Facebook, to include tcbbroadcasting.com's website. That's a lot more viewing potential, more than you would get than with a still banner that's only viewable by website visitors. With this kind of viewing potential, you want to make sure your ad says a lot more than a simple animated logo can say. These services are only available on tcbbroadcasting.com, and the spots are limited. So reach out to your TCB Broadcasting account executive and get yours locked in as soon as possible. You can bring your own video with you, or you can email Dorothy at southeasternbusinesssolutions.com, and you and we can put our creative minds together to come up with the perfect ad that says the perfect message and get you the perfect attention.
Welcome back to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, The Doc, and we are happy to have you with us on this beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm grateful to have in the studio with us none other than the one and the only Miss Christy Foskey, and we've been speaking with her this morning about her program, 1 year in existence. It's a place to heal women's recovery residents.
That's right.
And Ms. Foskey, you've been blessed to go from 6 beds to 3 times as many, now with 18, and you have all of them filled. And it's a program that requires roughly $16,000 a month to run, and you've been able to do it now for over a year.
Yeah.
Wow. It's an incredible story of someone literally taking lemons and turning them into lemonade.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like me now who are doing this same thing, who are taking our, the pain and what we went through and using it to help others.
Wow.
So it's really spreading. It's beautiful to me to see recovery spreading the way it is. It's becoming the end thing.
It is what is in.
That's right.
Wow. Excellent.
That's right.
Well, once these ladies, after 30 days, they are able to get jobs. Now, do they contribute to their financial stay at your facility? How does that work?
They do. They have to pay. They pay a certain fee each week, and then we highly suggest. And we haven't put anything in place to
enforce it.
Yeah, but we highly recommend that they open a savings account and start, putting their money back and things like that.
Now, what bank do they use to do that?
Well, I mean, I allow them to pick their own bank.
Well, see, I'm trying to work this thing out.
Yeah,
so
well,
whatever bank they're using,
that's right.
that should be the bank that comes in and helps.
Let's see. Let's see. I think we got one with Ameris. And then Georgia First. It's a new one. Yeah.
Okay. We've got several, local banks here in our community, and I know a lot of good people. A lot of good folks at most of them. People's Bank.
I was about to say I do have a relative at
Altamaha.
People's Bank.
They got great folks. Mount Vernon Bank. They all have great people, and I'm sure they would be happy. Vidalia Federal. They would be happy to help you with this.
Yeah.
So they do contribute to their stay, and that helps teach them responsibility. And that's, in fact, part of your mission, right?
Yeah.
Do you mind reading our listeners and letting them know what your mission is?
To provide safe and effective recovery housing in a home-like and therapeutic environment while our participants find their own recovery through education and access to the tools necessary to build a lifetime of solid, sustainable recovery.
See that? That's good.
And the hope is to, especially, the younger women who come in, well, all of the women, but as they learn new coping skills and they teach their children new coping skills, and then hopefully, in years to come, there's less need of places like ours.
Amen.
Yeah.
What is the age range of the participants who are allowed to come to your facility?
18 to, I think 67 has been the oldest.
Okay. So is there a limit to how, you say that's been the oldest, is there a limit?
I would think about probably 65, maybe. It would depend.
Okay.
It would really depend on the situation because, like I say, I'm not at a level of care to where there is somebody there seeing about their medical needs or checking blood pressure and things like that all the time.
Got it. So if a person wanted to apply, how would they do so?
They could go to our Facebook page, A Place to Heal Women's Recovery Residents.
Okay.
And they can contact us through that.
Okay.
Actually, working on a web page right now.
Oh, I happen to know somebody who does web pages.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in just a little while.
Okay. But yeah, that's my next thing is to get the website up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for now, Facebook would be the way, or to call the office
Okay.
at 912
Uh-huh.
403
Okay.
2772.
Okay. Okay. And your facility, again, is located in Vidalia, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And the address, once again, is 403 West 1st Street.
That's right.
And divinely, that seems to be right near another facility for men, right?
Yes, it is. It's right across the street from Forge Men's Center.
You know, what are the odds?
But the thing about it is, and Craig will tell you this too. I had no idea where they were when I rented that.
Wow.
I mean, it was
Like you said, divine. It was just divine placement.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Foskey, you've been in existence for over a year. It sounds like do you have a success story that you'd like to share with our listeners?
I briefly mentioned earlier about a lady that I have. Well, let me tell you about another one. Okay, let's start with the very first one.
Okay.
She was living in a storage shed on the other side of Vidalia in August. She had a really bad story. She made a bad mistake. She made one mistake that cost her everything, her license, her job, everything. So she just went from having it all to nothing. And she was in the hospital. The hospital called me to come over and talk with her. And we were able to, when she told me her story, the nurses in there were almost, in tears at the hospital because she was a former, RN as well.
Oh,
and
wow.
She was living in a storage shed. She had had 2 strokes, and it was August, so she didn't have any money, or anything. But we brought her in, and we were able to find her. She stayed there until we were able to find her a place to live, and she moved to Dublin, and then she met someone, and she developed her. She went on with her own life, and now she's living, helping to caretake someone in their home over in Jeff Davis County. So it's just that's one, and then currently we have several who the community would call people like me, like menaces. Really. But it's all because of, substance use, mental health disorders, and if people are not taking, if they're prescribed medication and they don't take their medication, or if they start feeling better and they stop taking their medication, then all these things just start happening, and it costs the community money.
Wow.
When they have to send 911 out to these calls when there's
That's
nothing
right.
happening, and
Right.
all this kind of stuff. So, and I hope in the long run we are benefiting the community as well as trying to provide that place between hospital, jail, state hospital.
Wow.
I guess
Good. Well, we thank you. We thank you for, obviously we can feel your passion, and thank you for sharing that success story. I'm sure you have several others, and I know that this is not easy work, but we appreciate your willingness to help, and we're just excited about having such a program in our community. All you do to help make our community better. And so that's what we look for as a part of Community Matters, those hearts and minds who really pour themselves out to make our community what I believe is the best community in the state of Georgia.
That's right.
So we're grateful for it, and we want to encourage you, stay the course. And we here at Community Matters and our team at Y101 are here to support in whatever way we can. And we're grateful that you came to be a part of the program to share your first radio interview about the program. Yes, right here at Y101.
That's right.
With the doc on Community Matters.
That's right.
All right. Well,
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you all the best. And this morning we want to, all of you who may be interested in supporting this great program, please go out to the Facebook page. What's the name of the Facebook page again?
It's A Place to Heal, Women's
Place to Heal.
Recovery Residents.
And if you don't do Facebook, then pick up the phone and give them a call. Make any small contribution will suffice. 912-403-2772, 2772, 403-2772, and help to make our community even better. This has been a wonderful edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, the Doc. I'm always grateful for the one and the only Mr. Dave Allen for all of his great work. And we're so grateful and thankful for Miss Dorothy Davis, who is responsible for our websites. Yes, I told you we'd bring it up again. So please, if you want to see this one, go out to our website, tcbbroadcasting.com. That's tcbbroadcasting.com, and you will be able to see this very fine show and watch it, and you'll also get a snapshot of what this beautiful Miss Christy Foskey looks like. Yes.
Thank you.
I'm the Doc, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us on this morning. Come back again on next week. Oh, boy, do we have a treat for you on next week, so you don't want to miss it. We'll be right back here at 8:15, the Community Matters Show. Until then, everyone be blessed and help somebody. God bless you and take care.
You've been listening to Community Matters with host Tony Doc Wardlaw, sponsored by Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton and by Vidalia Federal in Lyons and Vidalia. Tune in again next week to see what is happening in our community on Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting.